Library Baby and Me. Welcome back into my home for a summer reading program edition of Tangy Tales. And today we are going to imagine our story by telling a flannel board story. Now later in this tract, if you're following on Beanstack, there will be a full story time with a story and songs and things like that. But for this one, we're just going to focus on our flannel board story. Okay, are you ready? Looking at it, can you figure out what story we're telling today? Let's look at see if we can find some clues. So it's a big house. It has a pretty front door with the pink flowers. And when you walk in the front door, there's a kitchen table. And how many chairs are there? Can you help me count them? 1, 2, 3. And there's 3 different bowls of something on the table. And then over here we have some chairs. We have one that's really made of wood and looks kind of like a throne, right? And then we have one that looks like a bunch of pillows and it's pink with a pretty pillow on it. And then we have this little toddler-sized one. So 1, 2, 3 chairs. And then if we go upstairs, there's 1, 2, 3 beds. One is all made of wood, kind of like the throne, and one's flowery and looks kind of floofy and girly, kind of like the pink chair. And one is a toddler-sized bed with a train and a little duck and drum. So what do we know about a little house that has 3 things in it? Do you know any stories like that? Have you heard any? I'll give you one last hint. Look up here. In the family pictures, there are 3 bears. Have you ever heard the story of the 3 bears? We're gonna tell it today. Are you ready? Okay. Once upon a time, oh, I had to scratch my nose. There were 3 bears. A sweet, pretty, kind, loving, squishy mommy bear.
A big, kind of grumpy, very strong papa bear.
And an adorable, cute little toddler-sized baby bear. And they lived in a cottage in the woods. Well, Mama Bear had put breakfast on the table, but it was still a little hot. And so rather than just sit and wait, they decided to take a walk down the forest road to check their mail. Now their mailbox wasn't right outside their house like it is at some of our houses. It was way down at the end, up by the road at the end of their property. So it was a little bit of a walk. But it's good to get exercise before you eat, and so that's what they decided to do. And so off they went, singing some songs and swinging Baby Bear in between Mama and Papa Bear down the path. But what they didn't realize was today, Goldilocks decided to go on an adventure. See, Goldilocks was a pretty little girl. She had long, golden blonde, wavy hair, and for the most part, she was pretty good. But she liked to get into things. She liked to see how they tasted and how they felt and what it looked like and where it went and how it worked. And she had all kinds of questions. But in her house, her mommy would always say, Goldilocks, please stop, enough. I don't know, stop touching that. Don't do that, don't do that, stop, be good, can you sit still? And she wasn't very good at it. And so this morning she had gotten in trouble and she huffed off away from her mom and she was gonna have an adventure. That was it. She was gonna see all the things she wanted to see and she was gonna touch whatever she wanted to touch and everything was gonna be fine and she would show her mommy. Well, she had been wandering a while and she made a really pretty flower crown when she was walking through the forest and she was getting a little tired. She'd been going a while and she wasn't really sure exactly where her house was anymore. But she came upon this house in the forest and she thought, oh, thank goodness. I will just knock on the door and I will ask them where my mommy is because I don't remember. But when she went to knock on the door, she didn't realize that Mama Bear had not quite latched the door all the way. So she said, knock, knock, and the door opened up. Hello, she called in, because she wasn't a bad girl, but it was kind of dark and a little cold in the forest, and she was a little nervous. So she would rather be in this nice, pretty house. Hello. Well, of course, no one answered, and so she just tiptoed right in. Breakfast. I am hungry and I love porridge. I don't think that they would have left their porridge unless they were all done. So this just must be leftovers. They won't mind probably if I just have a little bite. And so she climbed up in the biggest chair because she was quite sure she was a very big girl. And she took a big bite of the biggest bowl of porridge. And as soon as it touched her tongue, oh, her mouth was on fire. And she was, like this, because Mama Bear always puts a little drizzle of hot sauce in Papa Bear's porridge. That's how daddies like things, hot and spicy sometimes. Well, she finally gets her mouth to start to cool off, and she's like, I can't eat that. That's terrible. But she left the spoon in the bowl, and she went over to the next bowl, thinking maybe I can just eat this one and it'll calm the fire down in my mouth. And so she reached into the next bowl, and she took a big helping, and she put it in her mouth. Mama Bear is on a diet. Now, Goldilocks doesn't know whose porridge she is eating, but she does know that it is nasty. It's a little bit cold. It's really lumpy. It has no brown sugar or fruit. It's just plain. It's just all bowl. But there's no place to get it out of her mouth, and so she just, oh, it's bad. It's so bad. But there's a little bowl left, and she just really would like to get that out of her mouth, that taste. It's gross. And so she goes over and she starts to take a bite out of the green bowl. She's a little nervous this time because it could be really bad, but inside she sees some blueberries floating, and so she thinks, I do like blueberries. So she takes a scoop. It's perfect. It is just warm enough, not too hot, not too cold. It has brown sugar, makes it sweet and yummy. It feels so good going down into her tummy. And the blueberries, they're just sour enough, but not too sour, to add a little something to that sweetness. Before she knows it, she has scraped the entire bowl clean. Well, that was nice. That was much better. That was so yummy. My tummy's so full. I think I'm going to go sit over by the fire and be warm, and I will wait for them. And when they come home, then they can take me to my mommy. And so over she went. And the first chair she tried was the big wooden throne, because after all, Goldilocks does believe she's a princess, and all princesses should sit on a throne. And so she wiggles and she wiggles and she wiggles until she finally gets up there. And then she's, oh my gosh, it's the hardest thing ever. Have they heard of a cushion for a princess bottom? Who sits in this horrible chair? She can't even curl up in it. Her feet are too short. She can't reach the ground. They stick out and just kind of in the air in front of her. They're no good. This is no good chair. So no, I'm going to go over here. Maybe this is the princess chair because it is pink and it does look fluffy. And I am wearing a pink dress. So I'm going to try the pink chair. But oh my gosh, you just sink right in. It's like sitting on a cotton ball, and there's a lot of pillows, and it's just not very comfy. And so she's like, okay, I'll try the littlest chair. It's a little for me, but I'm sure it'll be fine because I'm still a little princess. And so she sits down on the littlest toddler chair, and what do you know? Oh no, she realizes that she has broken the toddler chair. She broke that leg right off. She was a little too heavy. She feels really bad, but maybe they're just upstairs. Maybe I should just go and see what's upstairs, because maybe they don't even know I'm here. And so Goldilocks goes up the stairs and in, and she finds a bedroom. Well, she's had quite the adventure already this morning. She wandered all through the woods, and she had a big fight with her mom, and she ate the spicy, and she ate the bland, and she ate the yummy, and she tried all the chairs, and she broke the wood. Oh, maybe they're not going to be home till way later, and I should just take a nap so that when they come home, I'll be ready to go home. So the first bed she tries is, of course, the biggest one, and when she climbs up in, oh, it's so hard. Oh, it's lumpy. Who sits in this? It's terrible. Oh. And so she gets down and she goes to the next one, which is a girly bed with the flowers and things. And she climbs up, and oh my gosh, it's so squishy. And the pillows, like when you put your head on them, your head is like this because the pillows are too fluffy. Who can sleep on this? It's just too fluffy. And so then she decides, okay, that's it. I'm going to try the toddler bed. And she climbs right in, and it's perfect. It fits her just right. The blankets are perfectly soft and warm. The pillow holds her head at just the right angle, and before she knows it, she's fast asleep. Well, the bears have come back from checking the mail, and they come down the road and up to the door, and it's the mama bear and the papa bear and the small little baby bear. And they walk into their house, and the first one to notice that something is wrong is Papa Bear.
Who has been eating my porridge?
Because he notices that the pretty design that Mama Bear puts on with the hot sauce is all messed up, and his spoon is just clunked right through the middle. That's not how he left things. And Mama Bear comes over to, oh dear, someone's even been eating my porridge. Because Mama Bear's spoon is all messed up and caked up with porridge, but just thrown to the side, and the bowl's been spilled a little. She would never leave a mess like that. And then Baby Bear goes over and he says, oh, wait, someone ate my porridge and it's all gone. Well, there must be an intruder. And so they go to investigate, with Papa Bear leading the way. And he gets over and he says, well, the chairs look okay, so I guess I'll go upstairs. And Baby Bear goes, wait, my chair doesn't look okay. It's broken. Someone broke my chair. He's getting really angry. Papa Bear says, all right, that's it. Stay here. Whoop, lost Mama Bear's chair. Put it back up there. Just pretend that didn't happen. Okay, so Papa Bear goes up the stairs and he notices, hey,
somebody's messed up my bed.
And then he goes a little further and he says, somebody's messed up all the pillows on Mama Bear's bed. And Baby Bear, hearing the commotion, can't be left out. So he comes running up and he says, oh, someone's been in my bed and she's still there. Well, Goldilocks hears all this noise and she wakes up and she jumps up and she says, oh no! And she runs past Baby Bear and around Papa Bear and down the stairs and through the living room. And then she comes up to Mama Bear waiting at the front door. And Mama Bear says, young lady, what have you been doing in my house? And Goldilocks just starts to cry. I'm so sorry. I got lost in the woods and then I was so hungry and then I ate some porridge and then I accidentally broke the chair and then I was just so tired and I didn't think you would ever come home. And will you please help me find my mommy? Well, Baby Bear and Papa Bear have come downstairs and they stand behind and they understand. Goldilocks didn't mean to make a big mess. She didn't do the right thing, but she wasn't trying to be mean. And so, of course, they help and they take her home to her mommy and they all stay friends and live happily ever after. The end. So that is my telling of the Three Bears. And I hope that you'll look later in the tract where we're going to have our regular story time with our hello and goodbye songs. And we're going to read another version of the Three Bears. And then the next track will be us making some bear masks at home. So I hope that you will come back and do crafts with me and you will hear all of the stories. Until then, I hope you have a great day.